About the wedding tomorrow, some big clients from the industry are coming, so you, the high school grad geezer, should stay away.
What? I asked in a dumbfounded voice, and Adam laughed loudly on the other end of the phone.
I mean, it's my wedding, and we can't have a high school grad there. Think about it, your presence would just bring down the quality of the wedding.
I had bought a new suit thinking it was for his wedding. But after being told all that, there was no reason to force myself to attend the wedding. I understand. I said that and hung up the phone, sighing deeply. On the wedding day, I received a phone call from Adam.
Hey, none of the clients showed up. Did you do something?
Adam's desperate scream pierced my ears, and I frowned.
I invited dozens of clients, and none of them are here. This is going to ruin my wedding.
Well, even if you say that. I sighed heavily, feeling weary.
So you must have said something to the clients. Right. There's no other explanation.
How did it come to this? I didn't even have that much free time. I am Sam, a 53-year-old employee. I've been working at a construction company for 38 years now. I didn't go to college. My family wasn't wealthy. I was one of 4 siblings. To make matters worse, when I was 14, my father disappeared, leaving behind a huge debt. I remember thinking calmly, as I watched my mother cry, that such terrible things could actually happen. At that time, my youngest brother was just 5 years old and not even in elementary school yet. To feed the 4 of us, while paying off the debt, my mother literally worked around the clock. Seeing her up close, I felt strongly that I had to support her and be a role model for my siblings. I decided not to go to college and start working instead. A teacher persuaded me to at least graduate from high school, so my highest education level is a high school diploma. That teacher was very supportive and helped me find a job with my current company. Back then, it felt more like working for an individual than a company. They were looking for an assistant, and the previous president, John, took me in willingly. At first, I was really just doing odd jobs, but I was paid well for it. Moreover, John's wife, Mary, always made side dishes for me to take home. She would say it was for my mother and brothers, and those side dishes, along with the rice we cooked ourselves, were what kept us going as a family. I later heard that John had cut his own salary to increase mine, and had given Mary extra money for groceries to make food for us. John is undoubtedly the most compassionate person I've ever met. I still feel that I would do anything for him. John retired last year. I thought I was prepared, but I couldn't help but cry at the company, which I now find embarrassing to recall. John's eldest son, Adam, took over as the second president. Adam joined our company straight out of college, but I've never seen him work properly. Our company designs and plans buildings. Fortunately, we have a constant stream of orders, and our employees are busy every day. Adam's job is to oversee and check all the projects as the president. However, his desk is always piled with documents, and Adam never touches them. He's always playing games on his smartphone, and I'm just astonished, wondering why he even comes to the office. Adam, can you look at these documents? They were due yesterday. Since the employees can't do their work without those documents, I often ask Adam on their behalf.
What? Why do I have to take orders from you?
Adam spits back at me before returning to his smartphone game. Feeling sorry for my subordinates whose work is halted, I once said, How about I do it for you instead?
There's no way a high school grad can do my job. It's not that simple.
He would lash out in response.
It makes sense for David, the vice president, to handle my work. You do it.
The vice president, David, is 10 years younger than me and graduated from a famous university. In fact, before John retired, I was the vice president and Adam was the senior managing director. So, even after Adam became the president, I was supposed to remain the vice president.
There's no way a high school grad can be vice president. That's a job for a college grad like David. You stick to cleaning.
Adam arbitrarily changed my position. David is a competent employee, but he's too inexperienced to be a vice president. John knew Adam's incompetence well, but retired with peace of mind because I was the vice president. He'd be shocked to learn Adam changed the vice president without permission, but unfortunately, John and Mary are on a world tour. I don't know where they are or when they'll be back. David, suddenly appointed as vice president, confides in me every day.
Adam is impossible. No matter how you look at it, I can't be your vice president. I feel like I'm bearing the company's burden alone. I've already lost 10 pounds.
David, being the nervous type, is really not cut out to be vice president. He's suffering from insomnia and loss of appetite due to stress. Because of this, I review all of David's work afterward. Of course, this is a secret between David and me. This is the strained relationship Adam and I have. It wasn't this bad when John was around. David can't handle other tasks due to his unfamiliar vice president duties, which I end up reviewing later, making his daily work seem pointless. Despite the obvious inefficiencies within the company, I managed to get through each day. Recently, Adam has been in a great mood. That's because his wedding is in a week. His bride is Hillary, a junior from his college days he had a crush on for a long time. I heard him talking about finally dating her after persistently pursuing her, which was about 6 months ago. I was surprised when he quickly announced his wedding plans, but maybe that's how kids these days are. A while ago, he seemed irritable due to wedding preparations, but now that everything's almost ready, he seems excited. All the employees in our company are invited to Adam's wedding. Although Adam and I don't get along well, it's a happy occasion, and I was looking forward to attending. Moreover, John and Mary, who are traveling abroad, will return temporarily, and I'm excited to see them. The day before the wedding, it was Saturday, and I was at home with my wife, Jane. We were planning to invite my mother to a cafe for lunch. When my phone rang, it's rare for Adam to call me, especially on a Saturday. Wondering if it was urgent, I answered the phone. Hello?
Sorry to bother you on your day off, but I have something urgent to tell you.
Adam's voice sounded like he was stifling a laugh.
About the wedding tomorrow, some big clients from the industry are coming, so you, the high school grad geezer, should stay away.
What? I responded in a dumbfounded voice, and Adam burst out laughing on the other end of the phone.
I'm saying, you're not invited to my wedding because you're just a high school grad. Think about it, your presence would lower the quality of the wedding. Hillary's father runs a big company, and tomorrow's wedding is a high-class affair.
It seemed like Adam disliked me simply because I didn't go to college. It might look odd if I'm the only one not attending while all the other employees are going.
No one cares about that. Besides, I've already told the clients that you won't be attending, so don't worry about it.
I had bought a new suit thinking it was for his wedding. My wife Jane had helped me pick it out, and now it was going to waste.
Just having you in our company is embarrassing enough. There's no way I'd invite you to the wedding. You can think about it.
With all that said, there was no reason for me to force myself to attend the wedding. I understand. I hung up the phone and sighed. More than not being able to attend the wedding, I was truly disappointed that I wouldn't be able to see John and Mary. On the day of the wedding, I was out for steak with Jane and my mother. It was actually my mother's birthday. We had planned a family celebration that night, but since my plans were canceled, we decided to take her out for her favorite steak for lunch. As we were about to arrive at the steakhouse, my phone rang. Since I was driving, Jane checked my phone.
It's Adam. What should we do?
What? Looking at the time, I realized the ceremony was about to start. I wondered what he could want at such a busy time. But since I was driving, I couldn't answer. I'll call him back later. I decided to ignore the call. However, the phone kept ringing while I was driving. After we finally arrived at the steakhouse, I answered the phone. I was met with an incoherent tirade. What are you saying? I was unable to make out his words.
I'm saying none of the clients showed up. You did something, didn't you?
Adam's desperate scream pierced my ears, and I frowned.
I invited dozens of clients, and none of them are here. The guest seats are empty, and Hillary's father is furious. What are you going to do about it? My wedding is going to be ruined.
Even if you say that, what do you want me to do? I sighed, feeling exhausted. Jane and my mother had gone into the steakhouse to start eating. I wanted to join them soon. I didn't have time to waste on this.
So you must have said something to the clients. Right. That's the only explanation.
How did it come to this? I didn't even have that much free time. You told the clients I wouldn't be coming, right?
Yes, I told them a while back that you wouldn't be able to make it.
What does he mean, I wouldn't be able to make it? Well, that's why.
What?
Adam sounded confused. Do you know why the clients come to the wedding of the president of a company they do business with?
Well, it's because they want to celebrate the marriage of the president of a company they do business with.
There was a commotion in the background. The wedding was likely starting, and the venue must have been in chaos. On the surface, that's true. But the real reason they attend is because they want to maintain a business relationship and continue getting work.
What do you mean?
So, they might have planned to come to your wedding to see me. Now that your father is gone, I'm the one effectively running the company. It's embarrassing and makes me seem arrogant to say this, but it's the truth. Adam is just a figurehead president, and David is overwhelmed with his vice president duties. I handle all the president's duties in the company, including selecting clients and assigning jobs. Our clients know this, and likely intended to attend Adam's wedding only if I were there.
But it's strange that every single client didn't show up just because you weren't coming.
Adam's voice trembled with anxiety as he said that. Today happens to be the day of a major industry networking event. I'm guessing all the clients went there instead. That networking event happens once every few years and attracts famous designers from abroad, making it a highly anticipated occasion. I thought it was inconsiderate of Adam to schedule his wedding on the same day. If I were attending the wedding, the clients might have seen it as more valuable than the networking event, But without me, they preferred to attend the event over Adam's wedding. Clients aren't kind-hearted enough to act out of sentiment. They're all businessmen.
But what am I supposed to do now? My wedding will be a disaster with those empty guest seats.
You'll have to manage with what you've got. I said that with a sigh.
This is all your fault.
Adam spat before hanging up the phone. It was unfortunate that his wedding was ruined, but I hope this experience might make him a bit more humble. However, my faint hope was quickly shattered. The next day, when I arrived at the office, I found a blank resignation letter on my desk. As I stood there stunned, Adam approached me with tear-stained eyes.
This is all your fault. You ruined my wedding.
Adam began accusing me right off the bat, giving me a headache.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is to have a wedding with empty guest seats? Hillary's father was so angry he left.
Adam shouted with tears in his eyes. The wedding must have been terrible. Even the employees were looking at Adam with pity. Even so, you unilaterally told me not to come to the wedding and contacted the clients yourself. If you had consulted me even once, I would have stopped you. Of course, I knew Adam would never do that.
What the hell? Hillary has gone back to her parents' house, and our marriage might be over. It's all your fault. How can a useless high school grad like you keep getting in my way?
Adam was throwing a tantrum like a child, crying. I was at a loss, looking around at the other employees, but they just shrugged their shoulders.
You always joke about Sam being a high school grad and useless. But do you actually believe that?
It was David who interrupted.
What did you say?
You're the only one in this company who doesn't understand Sam's value.
David's tone was calm, but he seemed angry.
You know that Sam is a licensed architect, right?
Yes.
Do you understand how impressive that is?
Many people think you need to study architecture at university to become a licensed architect, but that's not true. If you have a second-class architect license, you can take the first-class architect exam. To take the second-class architect exam, you need high school credits, but 7 years of practical experience can substitute for that. Even so, I studied for hours every day after work to get those licenses. John told me, get your first-class architect license.
Without a license, you can't work in architecture, and that's just the way it is. You have talent, but you can't design on your own without a license. Get your first-class architect license as soon as possible. If you don't, you'll have to leave this company.
There was a reason John was so strict. A few years after I joined the company, he developed glaucoma, and the disease progressed without him realizing it. He was told by the doctor that he would lose his sight in the near future. For an architect, losing vision is devastating. Our company has designed many buildings, but the most acclaimed and representative designs were all done by John. His designs were intricate and original, unmatched by anyone. The fact that John was going blind meant the end of the company. I didn't have an architect's license, so I couldn't officially design buildings, but John had taught me everything about design. He must have seen something in me, which is why he urged me to become a first-class architect as quickly as possible. Understanding his intentions, I was determined to fulfill his wishes. To me, he was like a father. I owe so much to him. He's done countless things to help me. For instance, when my younger brother had an accident and the other party was difficult to deal with, he got us one of the best lawyers in the country. The legal fees must have been enormous, yet he said,
I can just stand by when your brother's been wronged.
he shared my anger. Following his advice, I obtained my first-class architect's license as quickly as possible. It still took me 11 years, and by then, John had almost completely lost his vision. I had learned all the skills from him while he could still see.
I initially hired you as a simple assistant. I just thought I'd help out a desperate kid who wanted to support his mother.
John often said this just before losing his sight.
But you coming to work for me was fate. God must have known I'd go blind and send someone with my talent to take over.
I've always thought it's not such a grand thing. I fall far short of John, but he always said that to me. After he lost his sight, I took over all the design work. While my designs were different in style, they received numerous awards and brought in a steady stream of requests from both domestic and international clients.
I've seen both John and Sam's work, and I can say Sam is a genius. John had immense talent, but Sam is on another level.
People often told me this, but I always thought that if John hadn't lost his sight, he would have created even more incredible designs.
Adam, you know Sam handles most of our designs, right? So why do you treat him this way? Don't you realize that without Sam, our company would collapse if he submits this resignation letter?
David's words were sharp and accurate. Adam bit his lip in frustration and muttered, "But
why did you remove Sam from the vice president position? Even before John retired, Sam handled many of his duties when he couldn't see."
A high school grad as vice president looks bad.
Adam still fixated on educational background, revealing his narrow perspective.
It's time to grow up. This company can't function without Sam. If you want to remain president, you'll have to work with him.
Adam bit his lip, his eyes welling with tears. He looked just like a child. I started working for the company at 18. Adam was born 4 years after I joined. I was used to dealing with children because of my younger siblings. When Mary returned to her family home for the birth of their second son, I stayed at John's house and took care of Adam. Adam used to cling to me, calling me Big Brother Sam, but he changed completely when he joined the company as a new graduate.
I know Sam is amazing. That's why I hate it. He's my father's favorite and has so much talent. I'm just the eldest son who became president. I know people call me a figurehead president.
Adam muttered that while hanging his head. I was surprised he felt this way.
I treated Sam so badly even though he worked so hard for the company, and now my father is angry, my marriage is falling apart, and my life is over.
To the utterly despairing Adam, I sighed and said, "It's not over at all."
Yes, it is. It's over.
Adam's limited vocabulary when he's in panic hadn't changed since he was a child. I couldn't help but laugh, remembering his younger self.
What are you laughing at?
"Sorry, I'll contact the clients. As for Hillary and her father, I'll go with you and explain everything. This isn't the end of your marriage."
But
I gave Adam a strong pat on the back. "Pull yourself together, I'll handle the company, but you need to take action regarding Hillary. It'll be okay. As long as you rely on me, I'll do anything for you." To me, Adam is like a younger brother. Though he has said many hurtful things since we started working together, I only cite as a long rebellion phase. I've never hated or resented Adam, not even once.
I'm sorry, Sam.
Adam cried, looking just like he did when he was a child. After that, I called all the clients who were supposed to attend the wedding and explained everything honestly. Tom felt bad for canceling suddenly and said,
I didn't know what to do, but I really wanted to meet the famous overseas designer at the networking event that day. Please convey my apologies to Adam.
As for Hillary, I went with Adam to her parents' house and explained the situation. On the way there, Adam looked so pale I worried he might stop breathing at any moment. Hillary and her parents understood once we explained everything. Hillary's father said, I thought it was suspicious that none of the clients showed up. I was scared to marry my daughter to someone in such a situation. I apologize for being overprotective. It was understandable. Any parent would worry if their daughter's wedding turned out like that. Hillary seemed to have returned to her parents reluctantly.
I'm sorry, Adam. I knew you'd be worried.
Hillary looked apologetic and very sweet as she said that. It was no wonder Adam pursued her. After clearing up the misunderstanding, Adam awkwardly said, I'm sorry for everything, in a small voice. When you apologize, do it loudly.
I can't switch that quickly. You're annoying, old man.
Seeing Adam laugh, I couldn't help but laugh along, thinking what a troublesome younger brother he was. After that, the company decided not to change our positions. Adam started learning the president's duties from scratch, with David overseeing his work. I still checked anything that really concerned me, but Adam and David were handling most of the work efficiently. This allowed me to focus on design work, doubling our project intake.
I know your designs are amazing, Sam. You should be designing as many buildings as possible.
Adam said that seriously while managing his work. Surprisingly, Adam was a quick learner and efficient worker. He was precise, thorough, and made no mistakes. With a likable personality that endeared him to clients. I wished he had taken on the president's duties earlier, but better late than never. With Adam handling the presidency, I had no worries. As Adam said, I focused on designing as many buildings as possible, dedicating myself to my work. A few days after Adam's wedding, I was invited to John's house. Adam was there too, and we had dinner together with his parents, John and Mary. As always, the food Mary made was incredibly delicious.
I can't believe the company went through all that.
John was laughing and slightly drunk as he said that.
It's no laughing matter. I can't believe what happened at the wedding.
I wish we could have been there.
John and Mary missed the wedding due to a flight delay returning from Paris. If they had been there, things might not have gotten so bad, but it couldn't be helped.
I had a feeling Adam might change the vice president without permission. He always had some rivalry with Sam. I just thought it was a sibling quarrel and found it amusing.
John had seen everything coming. Perhaps he perceived more than others because of his blindness.
But I knew deep down you both cared for each other, so I wasn't too worried.
I don't.
Adam retorted with a grumble. But John's words weren't wrong. Adam is like family to me, and I'm sure it's the same for him. I don't know how many more years we'll work together, but we'll protect this company as a team.